I honor God with my job and my friendships. So me keeping this job in this wonky schedule, if God can raise people from the dead, if he can make the blind see, if he can do all these miracles, he can take a pilot and cross paths with the right person. We can see just even in our own incredible story how God manifests timing of things and people meeting. But it is always in this story to think, no matter who you meet, tough people, even if times get hard, that I will continue to look at my God and I will not give up. And when we're in the pit, when things seem completely hopeless and I feel helpless, it is my God who has given me the strength always to get back up and keep going. I do not doubt that all of us, anyone who is hearing this, who's facing a challenge in their own journey, it is to keep your eyes fixed on God and to, no matter what happens, is to talk with him.
This episode is in memory of the hero, Ori Danino. Ori Danino, Hashem Yikom Damo, was murdered in Gaza, one of the 6 hostages, a year ago today, Chavav Av. It's sad for me that I'm not in Israel in this very special day of the Hachnasat Sefer Torah that his mother, Einav Danino, worked so hard, endlessly, the past year, from the moment Einav got up from Shiva. The moment Einav got up from Shiva, she was on a mission to have Hachnasat Sefer Torah, to give a Sefer Torah on Ori's yahrzeit. 1 year yahrzeit. She traveled the world. I remember calling her during Shiva because I couldn't make it to Israel. They were in flights going very frequently. And we had some speaking engagements for her that we're going to hear about, this speaking engagement that she had in Detroit. This episode is about that. And I remember calling her and I said, Einav, you don't have to go to Detroit. I know it's a huge chalabek with over 700 women. They're coming from all over Detroit to see and hear from you, but no one expected this outcome and we can cancel. And she said, no, Matana, I'm going to be there. I'm going to start the mission of the Achnasat Sefer Torah. Today's the Achnasat Sefer Torah in the town that she was raised, where her parents live, and she dedicated the Sefer Torah in his memory. This episode is going to give you a little glimpse of the Isha Kedosha that Einav is, such a Kedosha. And she lives in order to continue Ori's light, Ori's legacy in this world. This is a tiny little glimpse of what it's like to walk alongside Einav. She's a hero. She's a fighter. She's a Eshet Emunah. She's full of Emunah. Although I never had the zchut to meet Ori, I know his mom well. And I feel like I know a little bit about him, but every time I meet somebody else that knew him, I get to know a little bit more of what Ori is like, and to hopefully one day mimic his incredible light that he gave into this world. I want you to hear this episode and understand her greatness, and take away, each person, if you don't mind, take away a tiny little message from this episode of something that you could do in honor of Ori's life. And may we tap into the emunah that Einav has. Emunah that is unfathomable. There's no words of her emunah, because she just leaves such an impact of the magnitude of faith that she leaves with God and gratitude. You know how much I speak about gratitude, but she takes gratitude to a next level. She's remarkable. She's amazing. May we be zocheh for Mashiach, and to bring Geula, and to bring comfort to all the families that lost loved ones, that got injured in the war. May the chatufim that are still there come back quickly, bri'im, healthy in their body, in the neshama, in the nefesh. Please let us know one thing you took away from this episode. This is Listening to Understand, where sensitive Jewish truth seekers gather in a safe place for candid conversations on challenging topics. When we listen to truly understand, and not in order to respond, we can replace judgment with curiosity and open our hearts to every Jew, regardless of their personal choices. As Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living. I'm Matana. Let's get started. I'm actually sitting here with somebody that we call the angel. We're going to go into the reason why we call her the angel. One of the things that I had the privilege of doing is going with Einav to her speaking events. And she always said to me, Matana, you will see angels walking with me along my way. Although my journey is very dark, because I sometimes say to her, are you sure there's a God? How do you still believe in God? How do you see God? She said, it's dark, but God, Hashem, sends me angels along the way. I can tell you firsthand that we've seen so many angels. Yuko Query. Yuko is one of the angels that came into our lives a few months ago, and we're going to share. And these are the moments that I feel that when these things happen in our life, these angels, these moments that God is coming and saying, yes, it's dark, but I'm here with you. Those are the moments that we have to highlight and remember that we're not alone. Yuko, thank you for joining me here today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It is a joy to be with you again and see you, and especially to be a part of sharing such a special story.
Yeah. So I'm going to give a little bit of a background how we met. And then we're going to discuss the mission of this episode and why I felt it was so important to bring Yuko into Listening to Understand, which is a Jewish podcast. Yuko's not Jewish. She's not Jewish, but she loves Jews.
Yes, I do. We do. We sure do.
And not only she loves Jews, she supports us and she cheers for us and she prays for us. And there's so many people like Yuko around the world, and we need to highlight them and know that we're not alone. So we're going to give a little bit of a background how we met Yuko. So one of the trips that we took for Einav speaking right after Ori was murdered, it was, I think, a week after she got up from Shiva morning. We have planned that she would come to Michigan to speak at one of the largest challah bake events. 700 women that gathered together, 700 Jewish women that from different stages of different levels of Judaism, they all came together to bake challah. And Einav came to speak and share Ori's incredible story, and she came to share her words of faith and hope and rebuilding. And it was right after he was murdered. And we didn't even understand, like, how did she have the courage? How did she have the courage to get on an airplane and come and still be so hopeful and speak about faith and emunah? And she did. And we were in Michigan, I think less than 24 hours. We landed in Michigan. We went to the incredible people that invited us. Shout out to Maki and Racheli, and a lot of other staff. And they were talk about hospitality. Felt so warm, their graciousness, the kindness. And I think we had 4 events in less than 18 hours. And we had to get back to New York on time for the next day because she had an event in New York the next night. It was back to back. We went through all the events. And when we landed in Michigan, we realized that the airport is ginormous. It's just so big. And it took us, I think, 15 to 20 minutes just to get out of the airport. The next morning, I said to Einav, listen, we can't miss our flight back to New York. We need to go early to the airport because we don't really know the airport. I don't know how TSA is. We're going to go a little bit early, that even though we don't have luggage, I just want to make the flight because we don't have another flight and to make it in time for your next event. So we went to our 2 schools the next morning, the speaking events, and lovely, lovely host drives us to the airport. We hug, we run to TSA right when we walk into the airport, and they say, sorry, TSA is closed, too many people. Of course, my heart skips a beat, and I'm like, oh no, now what? And they're like, but don't worry, go down the hallway, you will see a hotel. Go down the escalator, go down the hall, and you're going to see another TSA, like a small check-in. I said, are you sure it's going to the terminal? Can I board my plane from there? And they're like, yeah. So we go. I'm like, okay, now this is why we came early. We go downstairs and I'm like, okay, I see this tiny little check-in. Now, can I tell you it's smaller than like the check-in for I think it was smaller than a check-in for a movie theater. Like sometimes there's these securities. It was so tiny. It was so tiny. And I come to the check-in and to the security and I'm like, does this go to the terminal? Because again, my anxiety, I'm very, very anxious person. So I'm like, is this going to the terminal? One of the things is that Einav travels with a t-shirt and a jacket with Ori's picture on it. And very, very, very often people come over and give her a hug or just cry or just ask her about the t-shirt. Now, Einav is not fluent in English, so I come as her translator. I'm honored to be a translator. And I try to hear what people are saying to translate to her. Now, Einav goes through, and then somebody else goes through. Now, my bag was called behind, so I had to stay behind. Now, I don't think there were like many people. It was just like maybe 2-3 people there. It was really a short line of people.
It was like half a dozen. Small
group. In the corner of my eye, I see somebody speaking to Einav, which I'm very used to. But I know that Einav is not understanding what is spoken to her, but she says, my son. She knows how to say my son because people ask her, who's on your t-shirt? And I say, my son. So I saw her trying to explain, and I also see her tearing up. I grab my bag and I go, and it's Yuko. Yuko's standing there right near Einav. And I explained to Yuko that her son is one of the hostages, one of the 6 that were murdered a few weeks ago. Yuko right away gives Einav the biggest hug. But one of the things that she stopped Einav was to say, I want you to know we're praying for you. We're praying for the hostages. We're praying for Israel. We are praying for you. Einav starts crying. Yuko says incredible words of warmth, kindness, and I'm translating, and then I look at Yuko and I said, Yuko, I have to make my flight. So nice to meet you. Yuko said, can I take a picture? And I said, sure, let's take a picture. We take a picture of Yuko and Einav. They hug. I asked for Yuko's number that I could send her the picture. And then I said, Yuko asked me, where are you flying to? And I was so overwhelmed. I even forgot where I was flying. I forgot what airport I was in. I'm like, oh, we're flying to New York. And then she's like,
LaGuardia.
I said, LaGuardia. I think I didn't even remember that I was going. I think I didn't even remember where I was going. I'm like, I think. And then I said, LaGuardia. And you said, really? I said, yeah. So you said, what? I think you asked me what gate. I said, I don't know. I have to look in my phone because I don't remember. So I said, I should look it up. And you said to me, is it the 2:20 flight? I said, yeah. How do you know? And you said, what did you say?
I'm working that flight.
I think you said, I'm your pilot.
Oh, did I say, I'm your pilot? I'm working that flight. Yeah.
I think you said, I'm your pilot. And I look at it and I'm looking at Yuko and I'm like, wait, I'm not understanding what. I'm like, you're a pilot? I was so overwhelmed. I didn't even see that she was wearing the pilot gear, like the whole thing. I was like, I'm thinking, okay, maybe she just works in the airport. I don't know. Like my brain was so overwhelmed. I'm like, I look at Einav and I said, Einav in Hebrew, I said, she's our pilot. She's like, what? I said, yes, so we looked at each other. I'm like, I guess we're not going to miss our flight.
That's right.
And I said, I guess we're not going to miss our flight. And then we said, okay, fine. We have to go fast. We go down the escalator. And I start telling Yuko about Ori's name and what it represents. Right away, Yuko pulls out her phone and starts reading in English, Le David Hashem Ori Veshi, the psalm that she knew so well. And she was reading it out loud, looking at Einav, like she's telling a story and she knows the story. I'm here. And we're like walking to the gate, literally walking fast to the gate. And she was sharing how much the church prays and how much she loves Israel. And we shouldn't feel alone.
That's right.
We get to the gate. Yuko right away went to the gate agent. She said, "These are my friends. Treat them nicely." Of course, we got.
And I said family.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. And we were first supposed to be in the end of the plane. Yuko put us in the front. And the entire time from the pilot seat, from the cockpit, Yuko's texting me, "How's Einav? Is she okay?
Yeah.
Do you need anything?"
And just to clarify, this was still before our preparation.
Oh, yes.
So we got to be very strict. But right, before we got the ball rolling, yep, I was texting.
So caring. Do you need anything? And Yuko invited Einav in to the cockpit.
I did my walk around. I did my pre-flight. I may have missed you. Come
right.
on. Yeah.
And the beautiful thing was, I want to say about hospitality, and then we're going to go into our conversation. The beautiful thing about Yuko's hospitality, and Yuko's from Japan. Like, Yuko has Japanese blood, I should say.
Yeah, thank you. I'm originally from Northern California.
Her mother Japanese, and Japanese are known to be extremely, extremely proper. And I saw that from the plane. Because Yuko came out to walk Einav off the flight when we were deboarding.
That's right, I remember. Yeah.
And you walked us off the flight, gave her a hug, and say, "We're going to be in touch, and we're going to keep in touch." Fast forward later, a few weeks later, you had a little stopover in
my New York
JFK. New York layover, and we had the privilege. And Einav came back to America a few weeks later.
Yeah.
And Einav and her daughter, Hodaya, got to meet Yuko in our house. And we had a beautiful lunch meal right after the holiday of Sukkot. And we just Yuko became our family. Yuko became
so thankful.
Our family.
Thank you.
And she's an angel. And she made us feel so seen, so validated.
Yeah, it is the nation of Israel and the Jews we pray for, truly, truly, and to know that you are loved. And so I go to a non-denominational Protestant church in Southern California, and we are for Israel, and we know God is for Israel. There is no doubt. And so we do pray. We pray. And I sent you the picture of the flag we have outside of our churchyard.
An Israeli flag. Beautiful. Flag.
Yeah.
So special.
And truly, we pray. And where is something I told Einav when I saw her? I was overwhelmed when I realized what she told me when Einav said, "He is my son, that Israel is the apple of God's eye. And we stand with Israel." So just meeting Einav and hearing her story and meeting Matana, there's nothing truly, how can one not see God's hand in this? Is this kind of special meeting that is one to affirm, it is one to encourage and love and hope. And truly unbelievable, just the whole thing, even about security, because the airport we were at in Detroit, that was the first time I stayed at the hotel at the airport, which has its own security. I've never stayed there before. And truly God's timing, because my captain and we said, we'll see you at the gate. That was our promise. We didn't need to meet downstairs. We'll see you at the gate. We were already at the airport. I'd never been through that security before, but in front of me, I see Matana and Einav. And then to be able to fly them to LaGuardia. What a blessing. Yeah, truly, truly. What a miracle that God would set something so special up. And if anything, it is to really show the hurting there in Israel, to know that there are believers and to know that we are for you and we love you, and to learn, oh my gosh, and meeting Matana's family was a gift to me. It was an honor to be in your home, in your husband's home, and to be able to hear him speak about your traditions, about the Torah, that to me was something I will cherish for a lifetime.
Yuko, you know so much about the Bible. I think you know more than I do. You know so much about our history. And it was a little bit embarrassing. I thank God Ari was there. I always say, thank God Ari's there because he knows so much more than I do. But you really knew the Bible and the
Oh,
books and history. It was heartwarming and inspiring to see how you devote your life to constantly learn and show up and understand.
mhm.
Before I go into that whole thing about how much, I'm going to go back a little bit, Yuko,
Okay,
okay?
okay, you got it.
Because I want to go into that because I'm always fascinated by Christians that know so much, and you also
Oh,
know how to know it by heart, like you're quoting, you know where it's coming from, and I'm like, if we only knew that, like, wow,
I don't know much.
you know a lot, you
I
know a lot.
But I'll tell you, the Old Testament, the Torah, we would not have the New Testament. We would not have the stories without the Old. Everything that we read all about onward is reflected in your book. It is reflected in the Torah. That's why now, and I know you said we'll get back to it, but there was a time in my life where I wanted to learn. I had a thirst to read your book. And so that is where I still am. Every morning I read a chapter
Of Torah?
Of Torah.
In English?
In English.
Wow.
In
The
English.
5 books? It's like the 5 books of Moses?
The 5 books. Those are the Pentateuch, the 5 books of the Torah, and then the Old Testament. And I'm getting through. Right now, I'm in 2 Kings. How the kings, who am I on now? After Ahab. After
I don't know their names in English so well, but Melachim.
There's Israel and there's Judah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaks of the kings who abolished Baal or Baal. I'm not sure.
Right.
And then some followed God, followed Lord, who did not. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see the history.
Yeah. And it is fascinating, and it's a privilege to learn it, right?
Yes, it is. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. Absolutely. And you look at such history and you think things have not changed much. Our humanness, and our flesh and our desire. We desired Israel. They wanted a leader. And they were given one. But since then, the history, oh my goodness, a bunch of diving in and being rooted again in God and then sliding back again. It is the human nature. It is a battle of the heart to give your all to God. But in our humanness, it is fascinating to see the history.
And you probably, when you saw Einav and how she speaks about faith and how she has no doubt that everything that God did is for the good.
Oh my gosh.
And just to hear her, how she speaks, because sometimes I question a lot, and I remember we went to one of her talks in the city in Manhattan, and somebody came over to her after she spoke, and she's like, I know you saying this, but do you really believe it in your heart? And she looked at the person like, of course I believe it. How could I exist if I didn't? That's what now I know not everybody's there, and I know that she's gifted. She's really gifted with her faith, and she works on her faith constantly. But for her, she always says, my faith is what gives me strength, because how would I continue without it? She said, I don't question why, and I don't question God. I walk with God, and I choose to see him in my life. And how she talks about the gratitude that she, when she got the notice, the awful, horrific, atrocious call that Ori was murdered. And I think at the funeral, or right after the funeral, she was saying, and I got the privilege of burying him in the Holy Land. I got to get his body back. I got to see him, and I got the privilege, and for that I am grateful. And to see her living with such gratitude to God within the tremendous pain and darkness is something that, in a way, it's like you don't even believe is true, because it's so awe-inspiring.
In that sense, I remember when you translated, when she was explaining about her son, that she does not question God why it has happened. She does not question God, but accept it as his will. And what a testimony. I do not have any children. I'm unmarried. I do not know what it is like, that pain she must be feeling. But for her to be able to be firmly rooted and say she does not question God, but accepts his will for her son, is something I tremendously respect. It is incredible. Einav is an incredible woman. And the fact that in her sharing, I do not see any hatred in her. It's just mourning and sadness. But only God can do something like that in a person, able to live out, not hate someone, but accept it as God's will, is tremendous.
Such a high level to aspire to, right? Such a high level.
She is rooted in God. She's rooted in God. I think no matter what happens in this world, when we know where we stand, which is, I know I stand on a rock. And sometimes we can shake, and I know in our humanness we can fall. But people like Einav, they will go. It's where will you go? Where will we go when we face trouble? And where will we go when people hurt us or betray us? She goes to her God. And I think that it is very easy in human nature to want to sometimes feel sorry or poorly for ourselves or hate the person that hurt us. But in that hurt and in that sadness, it makes all the difference in the world where we turn our thoughts to, our prayers to, and our heart to. And she turned to her God. It's truly incredible. She's an incredible woman of faith.
Yeah. So Yuko, what made you stop Einav at the airport? So she went right in front of I think she passed security right in front of you.
Yeah.
What made you even go over to her?
Oh my gosh. First I saw the t-shirt. I recognized his face. I recognized Ori's face. I did not know his name, but I recognized him. And a part of me thought I wanted to ask. I wanted to go up to her and ask. And then this other side of me was battling. Said, don't, just go to your gate. Don't worry. Don't ask her anything. But I kid you not, I know that is the spirit inside of me, my spirit, that I could not let her go. There's no way. There was no way. A humanness was like, okay, just move on. Just go get your coffee, go to the gate early. But my spirit said, stop her, ask her. So I remember I just put my hand on her shoulder, Einav's shoulder, and I says, I point to her t-shirt. I said, do you know this man? I said, do you know this young man? And she says, my son. And then that was when I knew that God had orchestrated something absolutely by him. There's no words for a meeting like this. To know that when we as a church family are praying for Israel, are praying just for God's loving hand to cover your nation, to continue talking to you, to meet you. I could not let you go. That's when I just, oh my gosh, the floodgates open. That God, Israel is the apple of his eye. I attend a church that loves Israel and we stand with you. I wanted her to know so badly, and I wanted you to know so badly where I come from. And you saw me. That was my pilot uniform. I was at work. But the fact that I couldn't, in my heart, in my spirit, I could not let her go. And thank you, Lord. That started our friendship.
Yeah. And it's such a lesson, Yuko. Often people doubt themselves. Should I say something? Should I not? Because we would have never met. And now we text a few times a week sometimes. And we met in our house. We became sisters. We became sisters. Right. And I know that it's just the beginning of our relationship. I know that Hopefully one day you're going to come to Israel, and I'm going to get
I would love
I'm going to get like the biggest privilege to be with Yuko in Israel. I know it's in my heart. I'm
it. Yeah.
visualizing what it's like to have this incredible experience of bringing Yuko to the land that she prays for so often, to meet our nation there and the Israelis, the soldiers, to go meet Ori in his grave and pray
Mm,
by his graveside. And one of the beautiful things that Yuko did, she went to church and she brought us letters from so many friends that wrote Einav letters. Beautiful, beautiful letters. Every letter shows us, and of course Einav and families that lost loved ones on October 7th, you're not alone. And I want the world to learn from Yuko. I want the world to know that some people say, "Oh, we can't, what can we do already to
mhm,
save and to help?" We feel sometimes so helpless
mhm,
and hopeless because first of all, we're far. I'm talking about myself. I'm far, and you feel like how like families in Israel fell apart, lost loved ones, displaced, or in fear, constant sirens, and the day to day is such a struggle. And you think like, what can I already do? Taking a break for a few seconds to give you a quick announcement. If you haven't joined our Listening to Understand WhatsApp community, please do so now. There's a link in the show notes. We're going to be sharing more exciting stuff only for the members of the Listening to Understand WhatsApp community. See you there. I can't save the world. I can't stop the war. I can't change people's view. But what did Yuko say? I could say hello. I could say I care. I
mhm,
could say I'm praying for you. I could say you're not alone. And
mhm,
if people understood the magnitude of bearing witness, the magnitude of just saying, I'm here with you. I'm
mhm,
holding space for your pain. I won't understand your pain.
mhm,
And I don't know how and if anything will change, but I'm here bearing witness. And I remember you said to her, tell me about Ori. I
mhm,
won't forget it, because you saw that you were a special soul because you knew you wanted to know Ori more. And you said, tell me about Ori. And she told you about the psalm, how his whole
right.
life
Mhm,
was in that chapter 27, right?
mhm.
Is it chapter 27 or 26?
No, 27. It was 7.
27. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how she was telling you about his journey and what he was like. And there was nothing more, I want to say, like the biggest hug and saying, wow,
Mhm.
some stranger just stopped me and cared so deeply to hear about Ori.
How could
And
one not? How could one not? There's so many. I wish you could meet my church, truly, because I think we would stand side by side and every one of them would have told Einav that they love her. They love you and Israel. There are many of us who are for you, but I think that this was special because God manifested a special time where you could hear it. And now I'm as a testament to my family at Bible study and to my church. Thousands of us who pray for you and are for you, that you are not alone. You are not alone. And I think that for anyone, and this is to encourage my believing family and anyone who if you have that kind of insight, you want to say something, you want to help, is to by all means do it. And it may take, that first step might be a little scary or uncertain, but honestly, once you move, God expects us to move. I believe that. And that he doesn't just, if we want to help, he's not just going to give us this blueprint right here and then I know exactly what to do. I don't think he works like that. I
mm,
think he's given us a spirit of love and of sound mind, and we can have his confidence to love people and to step out and love people. And then once we do step, see what he can do. See what he has done in our lives. For me to meet you, Matana, and Einav and your whole family, that is a gift of God to me. But to anybody who is hurting, and who needs love, we are perfectly capable of doing it, but it's to show it, I think. And the spirit inside of me, when I say I could not let Einav go, that was exactly it. It was not, I believe it was not from me. It was not from me. God moved in my heart to reach out to Einav.
And the microseconds.
Yeah, and the
there
seconds,
it
that's
is
right.
unbelievable. And if we tune into, they say everything has the right space and the right time, and everything happens in the right time. And I often think about that timing is not only patience to wait for something, it's noticing. It's noticing these things that are so precise. If there was one person in between you, or if we would go to the gate upstairs, if it
Yeah.
wouldn't be closed.
Yeah, exactly.
If we would miss one, if we would be stopped at one red light and come to the airport 30 seconds later, maybe the whole outcome would be different. But when we notice that everything is so precise, and I think that our life and God shows up through time.
Yes.
And if we notice that, we realize that we can't rush things and we can't change what time needs to do, because the domino effect. And God wanted us to meet you then, and God wanted you to be right after her or before. I don't remember, because I was behind you two. But he wanted you to be together at the security. Wanted that, and I think God wanted that I should go and my luggage should be stuck behind. That you should have these moments of connection, even though she didn't understand what you were saying. There was a moment there of connection, which was like so profound. And I'm like, wow. Like,
so you were behind us?
I was behind because they
Oh
pulled
my
my luggage back.
Oh
They
my
said they found,
gosh.
so I was, and I
I
see that
picture
somebody,
well, I
and then they
picture seeing
came,
you and Einav together. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Wow.
and I couldn't. She already went to put on her shoes,
That's right.
and
That's
I had to stay behind because they called my bag back to check it again,
right.
and in my corner of my eye, I'm like, oh my God, she's not understanding what this lady's probably telling her, and I'm like, I wanted to rush to say, but I'm
Uh-huh.
like, and then I'm like, okay, just trust the process. It's gonna be okay, and I think time. God reveals himself so often through time. And if we tap into it, we would be able to, if we really notice these little things, we would see the angels, see the creation, see God in our life, because time is everything, precise time. And I think you as a pilot can testify to that. I remember I asked you, I have a fear of flying, fear of flying. And I remember asking you, I said, aren't you afraid of turbulence? Aren't you afraid? And you're like, no. And I remember you said, I don't fly the plane. God flies the plane. I'm in the seat and I'm helping the plane. And you were so sure that everything is happening there was no fear.
Yeah,
Can
I
you
have
talk
no
about that a little bit?
Yeah, there is no fear. We unfortunate times we do hit some tough turbulence.
Right.
But there is no doubt that I shared with you, it is God's hand. God surrounds that plane. I believe that. God protects us. And my airline is a phenomenal airline. And I'm so grateful to being a pilot for this. I work for a major American carrier. And the training that we have had, and especially in adverse circumstance, we have been well equipped and trained to handle things calmly. And my captain and I have always had phenomenal teamwork. I'm blessed really to fly with these captains. And so the skill that I have been given through my company, ultimately from God, the training that I've received, and even through my own challenges through my training, has given me a stronger sense of skill and spirit to fly the airplane. And so I don't doubt that when we're in there, that it is a safe environment, and that ultimately God protects us. And actually, it is also when we're landing the plane and when we're in some tough circumstances, you don't really think of God in that moment. I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking, what do I need to do? What do we
take
need to
action
do right now? Yeah,
But
yeah.
we do have to take action in this
We
world.
do,
I
absolutely.
think God says we have to work together. I'm going to give you the tools,
Mm,
right? And you have to be a co-creator and you
mhm.
have to protect yourself. Like I think we have some part of the Bible. Like, you have to protect yourself. You can't put yourself in danger. You have to work within the laws of nature. I created nature,
That's right.
but I'm with you.
Yes. Yes. And in that moments when I do remember, it's when things slow down. It's when things slow down. And when you see that runway in front of you, all my eyes are locked on that strip of concrete. That's all I'm looking at. And that is in those moments where in my mind, what I see, things slow down. Like we're constantly looking and scanning and assessing the conditions outside. But I asked Jesus, please be my hands and please be my feet. If I can remember that, that is a prayer that I say, that he would just take over me and provide for me just whatever means to bring us back down safely. He is in it. He is in it. If he has given me, what a journey, he has given me the desire to fly an airplane. I never thought I would become a pilot. But it is in that journey where I have drawn closer to God, closer to him. And I trust him in everything, every desire that I have. I pray to him. And I know that the uniform that I wear, Matana, I have told you this. I told you this at the airport. But the uniform that I wear in service to God. That is my uniform to him. And I will do my best with my flying, get my nose in the book and my studies. I will honor him by being a good pilot. And it is through such a wonderful opportunity and a job that how he orchestrates friendships, meetings like this. It is through the work that he has given me. And in it, through it all, no, we are not to have, it is so human and normal to be afraid. It is okay to be afraid and to have these emotions of sadness and fear. But I choose not to stay there. I know I'm not to stay there when I am afraid. Who am I going to call? I'm going to call on my God. And so that to me has been a tremendous comfort through the flying and through this whole journey in becoming a pilot.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember you said this uniform belongs to God.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that. It was like, so I'm like, wow, if I only had that faith that Yuko has, this uniform, I fly. And you said, I work for God.
I do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. And yeah. And it was like so incredible to see in Hebrew, they call it emunah pshuta, a very pure and down-to-earth faith. And it's just the basics, like so fundamental and beautiful. And it was special to hear those words and how you said it and with such confidence. Yuko, tell me what made you become a pilot.
Ooh, I was previously I was a flight attendant for the same company. And 3 years into flight attending, I developed a tremendous desire to fly an airplane. I joke and say to people that it came out of left field, that it's not something quite normal for me. But it was so strong, Matana. It was so strong that I had to pray. I was afraid. I was afraid of this desire because growing up, I had zero interest in cars, mechanics, that sort of thing. To fly an airplane was beyond me, I thought. So I prayed. When the desire would not disappear, I just prayed to God. I said, God, is this my selfish desire? Or is this a desire from you, your desire on my heart? And if it is a selfish desire, I ask him, take it away. Please take it away because I cannot do this on my own. But if this is from you, this desire to fly, if it is from you, please confirm it. Please confirm it. And so that is
so selfless and so egoless.
Oh my gosh, no, but I had to because this was huge. This was huge. I grew up playing with Barbie dolls and helping my mother in the kitchen and oil painting, piano and Kumon. That's how I grew up.
Wow.
And so an airplane was completely beside me. It was so strong. I thought I chewed on it. I really did. And shoot on it. I prayed about it. And then God sent me Christian pilots to talk to.
Really?
At the right place at the right time. And they encouraged me to do a discovery flight, is what it's called, an intro flight. You take up a small airplane with an instructor for about an hour.
And you fly it?
And then see how you like it. I did the takeoff. The instructor.
You know nothing about nothing?
Nah, no. They teach you. We do the walk around the plane. They teach us basic stuff.
Oh my God.
About the plane. This is one of those small trainers. Wow. It was a Piper Cherokee. Mm-hmm. And then some schools will have Cessnas, which is the high wing plane. Mm-hmm. I was in a low wing Piper Cherokee. So I went up one day with an instructor. I did the first takeoff and he assisted me with the landing. But when I was up there, I was so afraid. He said that I had the death grip on the control yoke and my knuckles were white. That's what he told me.
Is that what it's called? The death grip?
Death grip. You're not supposed to do the death grip. You're supposed to be.
What does that mean?
It means I was nervous. It means I was holding that yoke and I was so nervous. I was holding it so tight. But a good pilot will eventually relax, and it's called finger flying. You can be very gentle with the controls. But boy, I was scared. And so when I landed, I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue or not. But it was my friends, I call her my Hawaii mom. And her younger brother is a retired line check airman. He works for another major carrier. He retired. Mm-hmm. And he said, Yuko, go up one more time. Go up one more time with the same instructor, this time for a little bit longer, and see how you like it. And so the second time I went up, I was much more comfortable on the controls. Even my instructor could tell. And that's when I knew, okay, I want to give this a shot. I want to try. And when something starts with a desire, it is always to talk to God about it. Always talk to God. He will direct your path. He truly will. If we're
open to receive.
Yes. If we honor him first and love him first, if we have a desire on our heart, talk to him about it. And he will direct and confirm your steps as he did with mine. And I did pray, if this is selfish, take it away. And he's done that in my life too. When there's something.
Wait, I want to ask you about that. Before you tell me, I want to ask you, why was that your prayer? If it's selfish, take it away. Don't we live our life in our eyes? What's good for me? Usually, especially a career. What will I like? What will serve me?
Oh, yeah.
What will I have energy for? It's such an interesting prayer. If this, it's a unique prayer. What made you ask that?
Yeah. Oh, I don't doubt. God makes us very uniquely. He makes us with likes and dislikes and passions, and we're all different. We're all very different. And he gives us the freedom. He gives us free will, the freedom to choose different things. But I prayed, this was very special because to me, to want to fly an airplane was like taking a fish out of water. That's how I felt. Yeah. To me, it was so big, so overwhelming that to me, in my humanness and seeing how I grew up and what my natural likes are, to me, wanting to fly a plane to me made no sense. It made no sense to me. It was scary. But I know.
So why that question?
Oh, if I take it away, if it's a selfish desire?
Yeah, like why that question?
Okay, yeah. So selfish desire, what I think I meant in that prayer was, God, if this is not of your will, if this is not from you, if this is just from me, and no, and we do have desires, right? We do have desires, and we can act upon it. We have the freedom. This was so big that I thought, okay, if this is just me wanting to do something, then I could do without. That's what I thought. Take it. Would you please take it?
Oh, now I understand what you're saying. Okay. There's a part of our prayer.
Yeah.
That we say. It says, Retzon yireav yaseh. I'm going to say it in Hebrew.
It's beautiful.
Retzon yireav yaseh ve'et shavatam mishma v'yoshiyam. The desire of his is like the people that are, I want to say, fearful or connected to him or his loved ones, God will do. The desire he will do. Ve'et shavatam, and their prayers, and when they come back, he's going to hear Ishma v'Yoshiam. He will hear and salvage them. And I never understood, like, how is that connected? And my father-in-law explained it to me. He said, our desire has power, and sometimes we push our desire, and God lets our desire, our willpower. It's a willpower. It's called willpower because it has a power. Our will happen, even if it's not the best thing for our soul, for our future. God is going to let, because that's like manifesting. We make it happen.
Yeah.
He will allow it because he says, okay, here's nature. If you want you to have, but if it's not good for you and you come crying and say, oh God, why did I do that? He's still going to hear you when you cry out to him, when you realize that it's not good, and he will salvage you. When you realize and you come and you, oh, why? What was it? I thought it was the best thing for me. It was awful. God, come help me. He will listen, Ishma, and will salvage.
Beautiful. And that's exactly it, Matana, is that, if I could say it in Hebrew, that was my prayer. That was my prayer. It was such a big desire. I did not want to misstep. I did not want to walk without him. I wanted kindly for God to confirm that this was truly from him, that he wants me to do this. And he did. He was so gracious to do that for me. And it was
so the second time you went, you didn't have the fear?
No, not at all. Not at all. There's still like uncertainty, of course, in training and whatnot. But I knew that I enjoyed it so much that I signed the paperwork and I started my flight training lessons. And I know some of these younger pilots, they know they want to be pilots since they're little. They love airplanes. They love cars.
Hodaya said that to you when she first saw you.
Oh my gosh, I saw
my dream. Remember, she said, my dream is to be a pilot.
Oh my gosh.
She's dressed up as a pilot.
I saw her picture. Yeah.
Right? And when she saw you, she's like, wait, my dream is possible? I actually met a female pilot?
Oh, I can't wait to see her. But it's thank you, because if Hodaya, she wants to be a pilot, she can do it. She can do it. Walk with God and surrender to him your desire and put him first. He will help you and direct your paths. And it is in this, like I said before, it has drawn me closer to God, my flying. And I have developed skill in the airplane. It was learned. For me, it was learned. But I made it all the way back to where I was a flight attendant. My coworkers see me now and they are so proud of me. They're so happy for me.
Oh, they're flight attendants still?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My housemate.
Oh, and you get to fly the plane?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just about the encouragement. When we speak of encouraging people that we see, whether it is people like Einav, anywhere, it is where I know I can do it because I have received it. And I know what that encouragement means to me. Because no matter what we do, it doesn't need to be pilot. And no matter what we do, we are going to face challenges. It is going to be hard. Right. And sometimes we will fail. And oftentimes we will stumble. And we will question ourselves. Am I supposed to do this? God, am I supposed to do this? You feel so rotten. You're in a pit. And you wonder if you should continue at all. That is when I have received the help that I need. And it is one story. It was a woman, a female pilot. And this is when I was having my challenges first in my studies to be a private pilot. And when I was a flight attendant, there's always there has to be two crew members in the flight deck. There has to. And so when one takes a laboratory break, that's when a flight attendant needs to go in. And I thought, okay, she's a female first officer, so I could share with her. And she told me, Yuko, you have to persevere. And she points to her first officer seat and she goes, because it's worth it.
Wow.
And I remember her, she was also a believer.
She was saying goals, have a goal.
Yeah, have a goal and don't give up. All the pilots who have encouraged me over these several years, the common word was perseverance. That was the common word, perseverance. And then a sub theme was do not give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. And it's just so hard because, oh my gosh, and Einav's heartbreak. But I think when God has put something on your heart, I was obedient to follow. I followed him in this journey to become a pilot. And on the way, you will meet people, unfortunately, people who are not for you, who will want to tear you down, who do not want you to be successcul. There are unfortunately people like that out there. Right?
Jealousy.
It could be jealousy. It could be all kinds of reasons, but people who want to tear you down, and they're around. But it is through that I still pray. I still pray that how can I get through my training and to be the words of God and to manifest some patience and thick skin, because I know I am to be on this journey to follow him. I could have always gone back to flight attending. I always had that safety net
in
my company. But when times got hard and I started to think about that was derived from fear. And I knew that if I went back to flight attending, it is a good job. I do not knock that job. But for me to go back, that would have been disobedience to God. I knew what I was supposed to do. And he has given me a lot of skill, a lot of training to get back to where I am now. But it is always in this story to think, no matter who you meet, tough people who you meet, even if times get hard, that I will continue to look at my God, and I will not give up. I will not give up. And when we're in the pit, when things seem completely hopeless and I feel helpless, it is my God who has given me the strength always to get back up and keep going. So I do not doubt that all of us, anyone who is hearing this, who's facing a challenge or in their own journey, it is to keep your eyes fixed on God, and to, no matter what happens, is to talk with him.
Yeah.
And
he invite him into your journey.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's very easy when things are going well to just forget my God. But it is in those hard moments that I've learned to seek him and just hold on. All we can do is just hold on and get through it. But I know I have a relationship with my God, and he knows what an incredible God. He knows when we lie down, when we wake up. He knows our every thought. And that time that I prayed, that was in 2015. I said that prayer long time ago. That if it is him, from him, that he would confirm it.
Such a powerful prayer. I'm gonna adopt that, because it shows that there's a higher part to everything that's existing. There's a higher divine. There's something more.
Yeah.
And it's very humbling. It's very humbling, and in a way also reassuring a little bit. Like, okay, we don't have to make all the decisions.
Yeah, but it's so interesting because he gives us the freedom. And when we talked about, he allows things to happen. If we want something so bad, he will also give it. He will honor. Also, he will honor. He is not a forceful God to push his way. He lets us choose.
That's why there's evil. That's why there's evil in the world and horrific things in the world. I wanna end this episode with something uplifting about you. So you shared that you're not married, and I asked you when you were in our house. I said, Yuko.
Oh yeah.
You are the most beautiful soul, the most warm, accepting, loving person. Where's your husband?
Oh my God.
And you said, because I first asked you, do you want to get married? Because some people don't want to, and that's okay, right?
That's true.
And you said, yes, I really, really, really want to.
Absolutely.
And I said, are you finding it hard to find somebody? And what was your answer? Do you remember?
Finding it hard? Oh, just because of the nature of this job?
No, I said in general. What is it? Do you know what it is that you're looking for specifically? And are you saying, I'm taking my time, I'm not going to I'm not going to rush the process.
We're getting into some sensitive territory.
Sure, we don't have to discuss it if you don't want to.
I'm just kidding. I'm half kidding. I'm happy to, because it's a good thought. It's a good thought. And for the most part, for this journey to become a pilot, it has been me and God. For most of the time, it has been just me and the Lord. But I do know that marriage is from God. He is my Lord, but I talk to him like a friend. And the man that I hope God has for me, and I do pray, like God has for me, will love God first and will put me second.
Wow.
And then
that's what you said. And I remember my brain was like, wow, this is all. I know. What? You want someone to put God first before you? And it was like so obvious for you.
But it is so biblical. It is biblical. Like God, we put God first in our lives. We put God first, and in a marriage, together, man and a woman. That is what I hope for. So that means that I need to be in tune with him, and the man has to be in tune with him. And then someday I trust. If I have the desire for marriage, I know in God's timing, God will honor it. God will honor it. There's nothing for me to rush. We can see just even in our own incredible story how God manifests timing of things and people meeting. I don't doubt that for my own life. And I think that for now, I have some wonderful friends around me. I have wonderful family around me. And so I just trust that this is God's timing, truly.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting to see how this all
unfolds.
Yeah.
I think I want to correct my question. I think what I asked was, I said, Yuko, is it because you have a crazy schedule. You can be in 4 different states in a day. You're like all over the place, and your schedule is overwhelming sometimes. So I said, do you find that your schedule is what making it hard to find the right one? And you're like, no, that's not a problem. The right one is going to come even with my crazy schedule. I'm just looking for one that will be aligned with my religious beliefs and will bring God first into his life, and I'm second. That's what, and it was so obvious to you.
Yeah. No, I don't doubt that. Right now, me being where I am, I honor God with my job. In my friendships. So me keeping this job in this wonky schedule, if God can, if the Lord, if he can raise people from the dead, if he can make the blind see, if he can do all these miracles, he can take a pilot and cross paths with the right person. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt
exactly.
that. So
exactly.
I will keep for now, I would like to keep my job. And yeah.
You're going to, God willing, in the right time, and we're going to dance at your wedding. I can't wait.
Yes,
I can't wait.
Yes,
and I just want to mention another thing, a very special thing that I learned from you. And then we're going to wrap up. I want to just share what I learned from you. A lot of things that we learn as Jews is honor your mother and your father.
Oh, I just read that verse this morning.
Yeah. Kabed. It's actually, it's honor your father and your mother. Kabed et avicha ve'et imecha. Honor. And there's so much literature about what it means to honor and what that means. And I think after hearing your stories, you honor your parents in the most beautiful, beautiful way. The amount of gratitude. They live in Japan.
They do.
And you take time out of your life and you say, I go to Japan because I love my parents and I'm grateful for them. And I want them to remember how lucky I am to have them as parents. I remember you saying that, I love them and I want them to remember that who I am and being a part of their life. And you take time out of your life to go to Japan just to spend time with your parents as gratitude and as honoring them and cherishing the time with them, even though they're so far. And I don't know many people that would do, because you go often.
Oh, I try to go now at least 3 times a year.
That's incredible. It's not like going to Atlanta. It's Japan.
Yeah, it's a trek. It's a trek. So that's why they let the daughter do the traveling, and I'll see them where they are.
Yeah, but you do it with such honor and respect and gratitude.
Oh, it's fun for me. It's fun for me to see my parents, and I joked and I told you I'm the only kid.
Right.
So I go to remind them that they have a child.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it because I didn't know if it was
Okay,
like,
it's funny. And then
yeah.
I help them clean their fridge. But
Yeah.
I actually do know that in my parents' marriage, my father is a believer. My mother is not. But
Oh, when I asked you, why can't you have, I said, they're not on the same faith path.
oh
So I
yeah,
remember asking you, is that like, wouldn't you say, okay, it's okay. My mother doesn't believe, my father does believe. So I can take somebody that's not a believer as a husband.
oh, my father, when my mother married dad, she believed. She believed. Yeah. But it is through some unfortunate circumstances that people
Pain.
fall away, you know.
Yeah.
And it is
Right.
unfortunate.
And
But
it's okay. And I want to say it's okay. It like I really want to say it's
yeah,
okay
yeah.
because everybody right?
Right.
Everybody, and sometimes it's the extreme pain, and I'm not that I'm giving permission to anybody. Who am I to give permission? But we can't question other belief comes from within, and you can't force belief. You can't force it.
Yes, yes. And God, and also, so my mother, I love her as she is. I love her. I truly love her. I love my parents, and they have given me so much opportunity. There are things that I think when you're children, when you're kids, things can be hard. Things can be tough, but you don't realize what a parent does for the child until the child is an adult. So I can look back and say thank you to my parents for all of the opportunities that they have given me, especially my mother and my father financially for getting me through Japanese school, because it was the Japanese language that got me into aviation originally.
Wow.
Yeah, Japanese. I was a ground staff agent at SFO, San Francisco International, for just over a year. That was with a Japanese company. And then I became a pilot for my next carrier. So the language opened many doors. And so for that, I can look back and say thank you to them. Truly.
And probably many other things.
So much more. They're a little older. And so now when I go, I just love catching up with them. I'm on their daily schedule. I spend time with them, and it has been absolutely wonderful. You know?
I'm gonna come with you once. I'm gonna
Yes.
come with you.
Oh my gosh.
We're gonna do a Japan. I lived in Hong Kong. I always wanted to go to Japan, and I remember when I lived in Hong Kong, there was a Jewish chef that lived in Japan for many years, and he said, "You won't be able to afford Japan. It's so expensive." So ever since then, this was 30 years ago. 30 years ago, I lived in Hong Kong.
Wow.
And ever since then, my mind was like, okay, I won't be able to afford. It's amazing what people tell you, you believe. That's why, like, careful of what you feed your mind. But now now it's my goal to go to Japan. And I just want to say that I mentioned to you that I saw this beautiful coffee shop in Japan
Oh, wow.
that employ only people with Alzheimer's. And we're going to do a whole different episode on this.
You sent me that video.
Right.
Yes.
It was the most beautiful thing I watched.
Yeah.
It's a coffee shop that only employ people with Alzheimer's, and they teach kindness and humility and respect. And what did you say when I told you?
What did I say?
That you worked, and you said
wow. I volunteered at an Alzheimer's retirement home all through high school. And the first summer was every day. The summers I would go every day, Monday through Friday. And then when high school started, I'd go every Friday, and I would call out the bingo numbers and then help them with dinner. Yes. Yes. And
so now I know why you're so humble.
That I thank my father. Yeah. So just to share how I got in there in the first place, it was not by choice. It was not by choice. I was 14 years old. And when my mother would go to Japan for the entire summer, I would be at home and Dad would be working. And I did some extracurricular activities, but there was one day where all I did was I watched black and white movies all day. That's all I did. Couch potato. And then when my father came back home, usually he says, how's your day? And I says, oh, good. Done. But this day he says, what did you do today? And I thought, oh, brother, I can't lie to my dad. I couldn't. So I said, I just watched AMC. And he goes, all day. Oh my gosh, Matana. He calls the local retirement home
Oh,
and he said he has a teenage daughter that would love to volunteer.
oh my God. That's good parenting.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody
good parenting.
good parenting. And he was so upset that a perfectly healthy teenager would be sitting on her bum
That's a very
watching
good
movies.
parenting. And you
And
probably were very upset at the time, but now
I
you
was
look
actually
back.
scared. I was scared. The next day, I kid you not, he threw me, tossed me out of the car and I was standing in front of the retirement home and I met the caretaker of the whole home and then was connected with the activity director.
Wow.
And I was under her wing.
Mm.
And she taught me things that she did. And she was also a believer. She did Bible study with the elderly. And we did some days we did dancing and bingo and all kinds of things. But it was through that volunteering at an Alzheimer's home that God taught me how to love people. And I could not
and be kind and patient and humble.
I know. The first time when I saw Alzheimer's patients, I was afraid. I thought, what are they doing? His name was Ben. He'd be walking around with a toothbrush and he'd say, what do I do with this? And then he'd just stick it in his pocket and walk away. And as a young teenager, I thought, ooh, weird. This is a bit out of my realm. But God gives us so many wonderful opportunities to teach us. And it was through that Alzheimer's home where these, oh my gosh, Nellie and Adele and Maury, I just remember them all. And I just remember that when I was walking home one day, I just remember, God, how could I love? I love them. I just realized I love these people. They're not my family. They're not my immediate family, but I was overflowing with love for them. And I realized, where does this love come from? And I thought, this love comes from God. This love comes from God. There's no other way. And so I remember I looked up at the sky. And the sun was beginning to set. And I saw those lavenders and those pinks. I could still see it. And I looked up at the sky and I said, Jesus, I want to walk with you for the rest of my life. And that
17?
14.
14.
I was 14. And that was when I made a promise in my heart to God, my God, that I want to walk with him forever. And since then, I kid you not, the life can get like this, right? Yeah. Yep. Totally.
Yeah.
In it, through it. And like I shared, especially with the flying, he just brought me close. There is no turning back. And so
life is like turbulence. Sometimes it's smooth. Sometimes it's rocky.
Yeah.
But you take off, you land, and in every situation, there's a takeoff, there's a landing. Sometimes it's smooth ride, and sometimes it's bumpy, and sometimes it's scary, and sometimes you have to reroute.
Absolutely. When the weather deteriorates at our destination, we reroute it. Or, go to our alternate.
What a beautiful analogy.
Yeah.
Yuko, I love you. I love you, and I'm grateful to Hashem. We call Hashem God Hashem. Hashem. I'm grateful to God that he connected us and crossed our paths, and that you brought us home safely to New York, and you guided us, and we didn't miss our flight because of you, and that you taught me so much. You taught me about honoring and respecting parents, about being so devoted to your truth, honoring your truth, and walking with God. And for that, and your heart, and that you care about humanity, and for that I am grateful. And I can't wait to hug you again.
I can't wait to hug you either. But I have to say one thing, Matana. It is not my truth. It is not my truth. I believe in the truth. One truth. So it is not just mine, but it is the truth that I believe in. And
thank you, Yuko.
I cannot wait to see you too.
And thank you for praying for Israel and for the Jews, and being such a supporter to us, you and your friends at church, and whoever is praying for us and standing by our side. Thank you, Yuko, and thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for this opportunity. I love seeing you. Love seeing you.
Bye till next time.
All right, bye till next time.
Thank you for listening to Understand. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please hit that follow button on your favorite podcast app. This way you don't miss an episode and you help us grow. You are part of our growth. We appreciate your support and we hope you choose to listen to us on our next episode. We'd love to hear from our audience. If there's anything you would like us to research, to talk about, please contact us on our website, listeningtounderstand.com. And if there's any insight that you got from this and you want to share with others and you are happy for us to read it out loud on our show, send us your insights, send us your thoughts. We want to listen to understand. Bye till next time.